Hi everyone, welcome to Coloring with Lori. Was sitting here doing some coloring in Kerby Rosanes, the fragile world that we've been working on with the Neocolor 2s and the Distress Oxides. Was starting to put the color down on the frogs, and I thought, why not turn the camera on and say hello? So if you've been following, I tried a little experiment on here with the Distress Oxides underneath the Neocolor 2s, which it's putting a little bit of color down, but the Distress Oxide is kind of rejecting the color. So I'm not going to bother trying to build any more color. It's just kind of pilling on the page. And so I'm just going to go in with pencil and work on that. I was laying down the color on the frogs. They're still a little wet. I was going to try to see the underneath here. I think his little leg here might look green. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Hope you're feeling well. As you know, I've had this cold for I think 10 days now. I was starting to feel a little bit better today, and then the sneezes start again, so I don't know if it's a combination of cold and sinus, but it's just really wearing me out. So I was going to try the underneath of these frogs is a very, very white, so I might come back in, obviously, with some pencil. Not quite sure what else I will use to get that white effect. I'm going to try some Neo on here and see if it brightens it up just a little. Knock back that color book page. Probably can't see it on camera, but yeah, it is giving it a little bit of a whiter white. I looked up different pictures of loomer frogs, and I tried to pick the most colorful one rather than have a all green page here. This white is pretty opaque, so that's doing a good job. Might just have to come in with a couple layers of that. Using my Kirintaki water brush today with the Neocolor 2s. Water-based crayons, water-soluble crayons. Definitely my favorite. I do have a different brand, the Lyra brand. They work well. They just don't have the strong pigment, and sometimes you have to use a little bit more water with them to get them to activate. And I did find that on some papers then they actually bleed through. So always check your water mediums. Different mediums do different things regardless if it's water-based, alcohol-based. Different brands, you might get away with different things. So yeah, so just laying that base on those frogs. Like I said, tried to give them a little bit of color. I think I got some good colors in there. Excuse me. Hopefully we will be back and up and running for Friday's live. And get back to work on the afternoon tea and Teresa Goodrich. I don't think I did too much, if anything else, but yeah, that's the progress I've gotten on there. So not too much. Like I said, I did the books back here because that would be kind of hard for me to do on camera. They're pretty small. Thought, you know, like the chairs and stuff like that, a little bit bigger, be able to do it on camera with you. So I'm going to use Prismacolors to go in on this leaf over here. Just do a little bit of low lighting and highlighting. I grabbed Prussian green and chartreuse from Prismacolors, number 109 and 989. So just going to go in next to the vine. Going to darken that up, vine, vein, the middle of the leaf. Just add some darker green in there. So I hope everybody's doing well. Don't know where you are in the world, but we're starting to go into spring. So we have had some warmer days. All our snow is now gone. But of course, with the warmer days comes the allergies and the sinus. That's why I said at this point, I don't know if I've got a combination of cold and sinus going. I feel like I'm heading towards laryngitis here. Voice has been getting hoarse, but we'll see. My mom started getting sick a few days ago, which that always makes me feel worse. Just worrying about her. So, just putting a very, very, very light coat of this on here. I don't want to have to get into the blending it out and all that. Just using it as a low light to help along with the Neocolor base. So, as you can see, it's already starting to get a little dimension between the two sides. You can definitely see the difference. Very, very light layer. Tiny little round circles. We don't want to get any harsh lines after we have the nice watercolor base on there. So, thank you to any new subscribers. I have had a few this week. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. If you're not aware, I've been trying to go live on Fridays Eastern Time, midnight. And I didn't this week because I wasn't feeling well. I was going to try to go live a little bit this evening, but things didn't work out right. So just doing a little video to say hello. Kind of show the process on this and how I'm going to work on it to get it finished up. And this is very, very little pencil work. You know, this is something where people say, oh, they can't do this coloring because their hands hurt. My hands have been killing me while I've been sick, so this is one of the reasons I thought this would be something nice to work on. You know, the watercolor doesn't affect my hands much, and this is just really, really light basing of color. So, barely hanging on to the pencil. The Neocolor gives a little texture, so it kind of grabs the pencil. So the pencil definitely does the work for you in this, especially on the Kerby paper. The Kerby Rosanes paper is pretty smooth, so that Neocolor does give it a little bit of texture. Got a little bit of bumpy there from the water. I don't know if you can see that, so that is making my smooth coloring a little bit more difficult because of the bump in the paper, but it's okay. We'll work with it. I'm not a professional artist, I'm just a colorist, so we are just trying to put some low lights down. What else did I want to talk about today? There was one more thing. I cannot remember. I should have wrote it down. Of course, this was totally unplanned. So, just thought I'd come on and say hi. As I was working on this picture, and I have done most of the work so far on camera, the steps that I've been taking, laying the Neocolor down, laying the chrome oxides down. And I don't think I'll do that again when using water on top. Like I said, it's kind of repelling the water, so good to know, actually. I'm not quite sure if the Distress inks react the same way. I don't have any, so I cannot put that to the test for you. I'm sorry. I was a little upset today. I ordered a new coloring book from Etsy. The Leon's Journey, I think it's called, from... Oh, I don't know her name. You know, the Menuet Bond... Oh boy. Menuet de Bonheur, Rhapsody in the Forest, and the Symphony of Cute Animals author. Well, it says they tried to deliver it, and there was no recipient. Well, they didn't leave a letter or anything that they tried to deliver it, so I don't really know that anybody did try to deliver it, but we'll see. I don't know why, but I ordered the Castle Art Harmonious pencil set because I was watching some video and, you know, the person said these are the colors that we're missing from our set and that we need. So I really don't need any more pencils. I don't know what I was thinking, but they're coming. Alright, I'm going to put a little bit of this chartreuse in here, just because I don't want that to get too dark up in there. Want more of this depth along the center. Again, just don't go in firmly where you can't adjust your colors. You know, you want to keep going in light with your layers. Even though you have a base on, you still want to layer up. You still don't want to oversaturate or over pigment or whatever you call it. Just a little light to bring that together. Blend that out a little bit. And see, the nice thing about using the Neos as a base, then, you know, I'm only using like 2 pencils to come in here, but yet I'm getting, you know, 3, 4, 5 color blends because I'm mixing dry medium with wet medium, and the wet medium, you know, the lighter pigment, heavier pigment, you get different color ranges. So you get a little bit more of color mixes than just coming down with the 2 pencils or 3 colors that I actually applied. You know, we're actually coming up with 3, 4, 5 different greens in here. But just to get a nice blend there. Blend that out. And if you get too dark, you can always come back in and erase. The pencils do erase off the Neo color just like they do. Let's see, do I have an eraser around? We can, oh yeah. Yeah, that up in there. Comes right off. Obviously, I have the Neo color base on there, so that limey green's not going to come off. But see, we took that heavier green right off of there. So, can still erase on top of your Neo colors if need be. I hope I don't get streaks now because I did that. Nope, we're good. Okay. So hopefully I'll be back on live Friday night, midnight, Eastern time. I'll be working on the afternoon tea. And, yeah, probably work on this a little bit through the week, maybe. I've got some other, gonna start that Romantic Country color along the castle page in Romantic Country 1. It's not the opening page in the castle section, but it's the second page in the castle chapter if anybody's interested in joining a group color along, buddy color, whatever you call them. They won't be colored on camera, so it's not like, I guess that would be it's a color along when you follow and you color the colors. A buddy color if you're coloring the same page, I suppose. But even with the color alongs, you don't have to use the same colors or pencils, but it's just that the person does give the pencil colors so that you're able to follow along. So yeah, this leaf here is just about done. You don't have to do a lot of extra work when you're using those Neo colors, because like I said, they fill up all that white space for you, leaving the pencil work to a very minimum. I probably don't even need to do this much, as it's kind of just nervous coloring while I'm chatting. But So yeah, hopefully get this one done this month. And at least one in the afternoon tea for our Teresa Goodrich buddy color. And darken it up a little bit. That one's a little bit bright. I don't know if you have any other suggestions of books you'd like to see me color in on the channel or color longer. I've had a lot of people say that they like the shorter videos because of attention span and they kind of lose interest after a while. You know, if I have many new colorists who really do enjoy the color alongs, I can start something separate for that. If you have a particular book or something that you want me to do as a, you know, rigid color along, I could try to work that out. I don't have a lot of quiet time to go on camera, as I've said before. I fed my mom early tonight, so I was able to break away and get a video in. Almost went live, but again, it takes a lot of energy. I just felt I should save my energy since I'm still not 100%. Still not willing to go anywhere. Just, you know, on top of everything else going on and being sick, it makes everything else worse too. So, right, I think that leaf is pretty well set, other than up in that corner, if I can get up in the cracks, but I don't want to get that too bright up there. Might have to kick that back with some white. And you know, I may not have a white pencil down here. If you could believe that. And I am a person that uses a lot of black and white. Oh, this soft green will be good. This is a very unique color, the Prismacolor. It's a gray-green light. Almost white with a little bit of a gray-green tint. That might knock that back enough for me. Just got a little bit too chartreusey. Chartreusey. My word for the day. Chartreusey. Oh, everybody getting ready for St. Patrick's Day next week. Get your corned beefs and cabbage out. You know, mine'll be going in the crock pot if I can get some cabbage. I have corned beef in the freezer, so I don't have to worry about that. Had bought some, and then having the no sodium issue in the house, never made it. So, okay, I think that looks pretty good. I don't know, maybe I'll... Oops, sorry, hit the camera there, guys. Check some pinks here for the flower. Let's see what we got. I don't know how bright I want to go. I was thinking processed red. Is this processed red? That is processed red. Let's see how Prismacolor processed red goes in here. And I would not use those distress oxides again for on the pictures like this because, well, unless you like to dull the lines, because it did go over, it did, it's opaque. Yeah, and that color's a little bit too dark. I'll probably just go with this hot pink. Is that what that is? Hot pink. Let me try that. Or I might just have to do it backwards. Yeah, a little bit of the hot pink, processed pink, and I think I'm actually going to need a blender there. We have a, I might have it down here, Deco Pink. So you may ask why I do the base to layer up, but you know, that's what we do, right? Even if we base with pencils, we put our pencil base down and then we build up the colors. So it's kind of the same thing, and you don't have to work as hard to fill the white on the paper because it's filled from the Neo base. So, and this is just because I used the chrome oxide, it's going to make it a little bit harder on me because it did put that opaqueness on the paper, but that's okay. We'll work through it. We'll get it done. It's just going to take a little longer than anticipated. But everything seems to take longer than anticipated these days, doesn't it? Okay, yeah, I like these colors. So we'll stick with those for the flowers. So that was hot pink, processed red, and Deco Pink. And I think that order did matter going on top of the Distress Oxide here. So we've got that hot pink base, and then back in with the processed red and the Deco Pink to blend it out. Okay. I don't know if I'll work on this anymore tonight or not. If I do, I will post a picture, but that's the progress so far. That leaf there is pretty much done. I might mess with it a little bit. My eyes are really watery right now, so when I take a look at it later, I might not be happy with it. Looks pretty good though. So, well, thank you for joining me. Hope you're enjoying this picture. Starting to come along pretty good. We'll get those frogs blended in. As you can see, it won't take too long to put the base on. But thank you everybody for joining me. Thank you for subscribing. Please like the video if you enjoyed. And you have a wonderful day. Thanks all. Bye-bye.